Hello all, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I am going to explain the process of human digestion in detail. So, the alimentary canal in human beings is basically a long tube extending from the mouth to the anus. So, in human beings as well as animals, we are having an alimentary canal which is also called as digestive tract, and this is a long tube which starts in the mouth and ends in the anus. So in the figure we can see different parts of the digestive system. You have to be very thorough with each and every of these parts. So in today's video we are going to discuss the processes happening in each of these systems, in each of these organs. We eat various types of food which has to pass through the same digestive tract. Naturally, the food has to be processed to generate particles which are small and of the same texture. So we are eating various kinds of food. We are eating the food we like, and we are eating many junk foods maybe sometimes. So all the types of foods that we eat, it has to pass through the same digestive system. We are not having separate digestive system for each and every food that we eat. So our digestive system, the muscles present in the digestive system is actually very soft. So the food that is consumed or the food that is being taken inside, it must be very soft. It should pass through the alimentary canal. So the food has to be processed to generate particles which are small and of the same texture. We are eating complex food, we are eating the whole food. We are not eating 5 proteins, 6 carbohydrates, 7 vitamins and all. We are eating complex food, and this complex food is actually broken down into simpler substances that can be absorbed by the body. So the food taken inside should be of the same texture and it should be of simple substances. So this is achieved by crushing the food with our teeth. So the first process in digestion starts in the mouth. We are crushing the food with our teeth. We are breaking down the bigger substance into smaller substances. We are also mixing the food with saliva. So why are we doing this? Because the lining of the alimentary canal is soft. The food is wetted to make its passage smooth. So to make the passage smooth, the passage of the food has to be passed down without any problem. So for achieving this, we are mixing the food with saliva. Not only that, we are actually mixing saliva for one more purpose. Saliva is actually an enzyme secreted by salivary gland present in our mouth. There are actually 5 glands, mainly 5 glands in our digestive system. Do you know what they are? First one is the salivary gland, which is in our mouth. Second one is gastric gland. They are present in the walls of the stomach. Then third one is intestinal gland, present in the walls of the intestine. Then we have our liver and pancreas. Liver is the largest gland in our body. I hope you know that. So these are the 5 major glands present in the digestive system. And what are the 7 main organs present in the digestive system? First one is mouth or the buccal cavity. Second one is esophagus or the food pipe. Third one is stomach. Fourth one, small intestine, large intestine. Then rectum and anus. Notice liver and pancreas, they are not organs. Food is not entering into liver and pancreas and all. They are just glands producing enzymes. So let's continue. So when we eat something we like, our mouth waters. This is actually not only water, it is actually what? Saliva, secreted by salivary gland. And another aspect of the food we ingest is complex nature. So if this complex food must be absorbed by the alimentary canal, the food should be broken down into simpler substances. So this is done with the help of various enzymes. The first enzyme that acts with the food is salivary enzyme. The saliva, it contains an enzyme called as salivary amylase. Saliva is containing an enzyme called salivary amylase. What is the function of this salivary amylase? It actually helps in the breakdown, or it actually helps in the starch breakdown. It helps in the breakdown of starch present in the food. Starch is actually a complex molecule, and this salivary amylase is acting on the starch to produce simple sugar. Then the food is mixed thoroughly with saliva and it is moved around the mouth while chewing by the muscular tongue. So the tongue is helping the food to move around the mouth so that it will reach to all the parts and the food can be crushed by our teeth, right? Yes. So it is necessary to move the food in a regulated manner along the digestive tube so that it can be processed properly in each part. The lining of canal has muscles that contract rhythmically in order to push the food forward. These are called peristaltic movements which occur all along the gut. Okay, so the digestion in the mouth is now over. So what was digested in the mouth? That the digestion of starch happened here, right? But this digestion of starch is not complete, okay? It is just kept in half, and the remaining digestion of the starch will take place in the stomach and small intestine, okay? So now we are completing the digestion in mouth. The food must go into the stomach next. So the food has to pass through the esophagus or the food pipe. In the joining of the esophagus and the stomach, we are having a muscle called sphincter muscle which regulates the movement of food. So this sphincter muscle is allowing the food to come into the stomach in a regulated manner. Okay, the food is all the food particles are not coming, or they are not pushing each other and coming into the stomach. Okay, this movement is actually regulated by the sphincter muscle present in the joint of esophagus and the stomach. So these before that, how did the food reach the stomach? Yes, through the food pipe. So this food pipe or the esophagus, the muscles, the inner muscles of these food pipe are actually very soft. So the food has to pass through it. It has to enter into the stomach. The muscles of these food pipe, right, inner walls, it has muscles. These muscles, they contract and relax. So a movement is occurring there. With the help of this contraction and relaxation of the muscles present in the alimentary canal, not only in the food pipe, okay, in the alimentary canal, the muscles are contracting and relaxing. These movements, they push the food forward, okay, to the next area. These are called peristaltic movements, and these movements occur all along the digestive system. So from the mouth, the food is taken to the stomach through the food pipe or esophagus. The stomach is actually a large organ which expands when the food enters into it. So the shrinked stomach will expand when it sees food. Okay. The muscular walls of the stomach help in mixing the food thoroughly with more digestive juices. So the stomach, the walls of the stomach has got gastric gland. Okay, the digestion stomach is taken care of by the gastric gland present in the wall of the stomach, and the muscles, okay, the muscles present in the walls of the stomach will help the food to mix thoroughly with the enzymes created or produced by the gastric gland. So what are the substances produced by the gastric gland present in our stomach? These gastric gland, it releases mainly 3 substances. Okay, only 3 are mentioned in the book, that is in class 10 NCRT book, but 4 substances are mainly produced. I will tell you. Hydrochloric acid, okay, HCl. This is the first one. Then a protein digesting enzyme called pepsin, that is the second one. Third one is mucus. Okay, we are going to learn the function of each one of these enzymes. And the fourth one, which is actually not given in the text, is renin. Okay, renin, renin. So why is this gastric gland secreting hydrochloric acid? Oh, it's actually very dangerous, right? Acids. Yes. Then what is the need of secreting this hydrochloric acid in stomach? Will the stomach burn? Okay, let's see that. Hydrochloric this hydrochloric acid is actually produced to make the food acidic. So you may ask, why is the food made acidic for this? Yes, food is made acidic because for the action of pepsin. Okay, this pepsin, it is also produced by hydrochloric acid, we told. Pepsin is actually an enzyme that helps in the digestion of proteins. So digestion of proteins present in the food starts from the stomach. So this digestion of proteins, this happens only if the food is made acidic. So this is done by the hydrochloric acid. But we have to take precaution. This hydrochloric acid, if the amount of hydrochloric acid secreted is very high, it can lead to acidity. Okay, we have seen many adults complaining about acidity. So the amount of hydrochloric acid secreted must be maintained, or it must be regulated. This is the function of mucus secreted by the same gland, gastric gland. So what will the mucus do in this? The mucus will actually protect the inner lining of the stomach from the action of acid under normal conditions. Okay, the mucus is actually protecting the stomach from higher amount of hydrochloric acid. So after the food is made acidic, our protein digesting enzyme pepsin will act on it. So now the food is digested in the stomach. Okay, so in the stomach the digestion of proteins has taken place, not completely, partially. Okay, we studied about 4 enzymes. Renin, okay, renin also helps in the digestion of proteins, okay, in the stomach. So now the food is going away from the stomach and it is entering into the small intestine next. So we all have a confusion. Is the food going to small intestine or the large intestine first? So the answer is here. The food is first entering into the small intestine, and in the small intestine the digestion of the food is completely finished. Okay, the digestion of food is complete in the small intestine. So the exit of food from the stomach is also regulated by a sphincter muscle which releases it in small amounts into the small intestine. We have got sphincter muscles in each and every joint of the digestive system. Okay, so this is the longest part of the alimentary canal which is fitted into a compact space because of extensive coiling. So this is the description about small intestine. Now the food is going from the stomach, it is entering into the small intestine, and this movement is regulated by a sphincter muscle present in the joint. This small intestine is actually the longest part of the digestive system which is fitted into a small space. Okay, it is extensively coiled to make it fit into that small space. Then why are we calling this intestine as small and large intestine as large? Because large intestine is actually not longer than small intestine, but it is actually greater in width. That's why we are calling large intestine as large and small intestine as small. Okay. The length of the small intestine differs in various animals depending upon the type of food they eat. For example, herbivores. You know what are herbivores? The herbivores, that is organisms which consume plant products, are called herbivores. So these herbivores eating grass need a longer small intestine to allow the cellulose to be digested. You know that plants, this grass and all, they contain cellulose. So for the digestion of cellulose, they need a longer small intestine. Okay, meat is actually easier to digest. So carnivorous animals like lions, tigers and all, they are having a smaller small intestine. Now the small intestine is the site of complete digestion of carbohydrates, proteins and fats. So digestion of food starts from the mouth and it ends in the small intestine. Okay, the alimentary canal or the digestive tract, it starts in the mouth and ends in the anus. So the small intestine receives the secretions of the liver and pancreas for this purpose. So which are the two glands which release their secretions into small intestine? Yes, liver and pancreas. Okay, the small intestine receives the secretions from liver and pancreas. The food coming from the stomach is acidic and has to be made alkaline for the pancreatic enzymes to act. So now we are facing another problem. The food from the stomach, it was made acidic for the enzyme pepsin to act. But here the food must be made into alkaline form. Then only the pancreatic enzymes can act on the food. So this is done by the bile juice. Okay, bile juice secreted by the liver. The bile juice from the liver accomplishes this in addition to acting on fats. So there are mainly two functions for bile juice. Bile juice secreted from the liver actually makes the acidic food coming from the stomach into alkaline form so that pancreatic enzymes can act on the food. The second function of bile juice is that it acts on fats. Okay, digestion of fats. Now, the hydrochloric acid produced in the stomach, right? I forgot to tell this. It has also got mainly two functions, okay? This hydrochloric acid. It first makes the food acidic so that pepsin can act on the food. Second main function of the hydrochloric acid is that it kills the germs present in the food, okay? It is actually an important question. List out two important jobs or two important functions of the hydrochloric acid. Okay, let's come back to the small intestine. So the bile juice has mainly two functions. We discussed about it. Fats are present in the intestine in the form of large globules, which makes it difficult for enzymes to act on them. So fats coming in the food, okay, fats present in the food, it is actually present in the form of large globules or large molecules. So we have to make it into smaller globules. Then only the enzymes can act on the food, okay. So bile salts break them down into smaller globules, thus increasing the efficiency of enzyme action. This is similar to the emulsifying action of soaps on dirt that we have learned about in chapter 4. Okay. Then after this, the pancreas, okay. So we finished liver. Now coming to pancreas. The pancreas secretes pancreatic juice, which contains enzymes like trypsin for digesting proteins and lipase for breaking down emulsified fats. So what are the secretions of the pancreas? The pancreas mainly secretes three secretions, okay. It is secreting three enzymes actually. First one is amylase, not salivary amylase, this is different, okay. Simply amylase. Second one is trypsin, and third one is lipase, okay. These are the enzymes secreted by the pancreas. So what is the function of this amylase? See, this amylase always helps in the digestion of starch or carbohydrates, okay. Now this trypsin, no, it actually helps in the digestion of proteins, and lipase it helps in the breaking down of fats. The walls of the small intestine contain glands, okay, these are intestinal glands which secrete intestinal juice. So intestinal glands present in the walls of the small intestine, it helps in the digestion of many other that is, it helps in the digestion of food. It produces many secretions, okay. Which are these what are these secretions called? It's called as, first one is amylolytic, okay. The name of the first enzyme secreted by this intestinal gland is amylolytic. Second one is proteolytic, and third one is lipolytic. These are the three secretions of the intestinal gland. The enzymes present in it finally convert the proteins to amino acids, then carbohydrates into glucose, and fatty acids, this fats present in the food into fatty acids and glycerol, okay. So the small intestine, it is having some intestinal glands. This intestinal gland is secreting intestinal juice. This intestinal juice is having some enzymes, amylolytic, proteolytic and lipolytic. Okay, these enzymes are finally converting the food. So the digestion is over, okay. So the last part of digestion, it converts the food finally into what? The proteins are converted to amino acids, the carbohydrates are converted to glucose, and fats present in the food are converted to fatty acids and glycerol. So now the digested food is taken up by the walls of the intestine. So the digestion is actually complete. The inner lining of the small intestine has numerous finger-like projections called villi, which increase the surface area for absorption. So the small intestine, it is actually divided into three parts: duodenum, jejunum and ileum. So the food is entering into each part. It has got a lot of changes in each part, okay. So in the last part, the small intestine is having some finger-like projections on the walls, okay, on the walls of the small intestine. These are called as villi, villi, villi. And what is the function of these? This finger-like projections increase the surface area for absorption. So when we are having more surface area, we will be able to absorb a lot more amount of food. So these villi are finger-like projections present in the walls of the small intestine, which helps in the absorption of the digested food. The villi are richly supplied with blood vessels, which take the absorbed food to each and every cell of the body. So these villi are actually supplied with blood vessels and they directly take the food into the body. and into each cell of the body, where it is utilized for obtaining energy, building new tissues and repair of old tissues. So these villi are taking the absorbed food, taking all the nutrients from the absorbed food, it is giving it to each and every cell of the body, and in each and every cell energy production is taking place. The unabsorbed food is then sent into the large intestine. So after the digestion present in the small intestine, the food is going to large intestine. And what is the main function of the large intestine? In the large intestine, there is no digestion happening, but it actually takes up all the excessive amount of water present in the food. Okay, it absorbs more water from the material. The rest of the food is actually removed from the body through the anus. Okay, it's this waste food, no, after large intestine the food is actually stored up in the rectum. The waste food actually stored in the rectum, and it is passed through the anus from the body. So the exit of this waste material is also regulated by a sphincter muscle called anal sphincter muscle. Okay, so we have completed the digestion in human beings. If you are having any doubts, please do comment, share this video and subscribe. Thank you.